asarar addinin ka za ka yi, ka zaɓi arni. Komin lalacewar musulmi, aƙidar musulunci ta ɗari komai. A ƙa'ida idan ga arne ga musulmi, musulmin nan kowane iri ne shi ake zaɓa, saboda ya fi kusa da Allah. Amma idan ga musulmi to kuma nan sai a zaɓa a darji da baƙin ƙirin wara baki-baki, to haka ake yi.
Islam is the religion that would unite Nigeria from east to west, from north to south. The words of a confused Fulani cleric. On my screen, you can see his tweet, and this guy is supposedly doctor who is in the diaspora, by the way, has come out to issue this provocative statement against the Christians. What this doctor is trying to point out is the Christians are the ones dividing the country. And we have been saying it, that the intentions of the Fulani never ended when Uthman Danfodio was beheaded by the Ata of Igala in the Middle Belt. But you know why I'm happy today? I am so happy today because the Middle Beltans have woken up. They woke up the very instance when the Biafran struggle was declared. Then they further got more emboldened when the current president of the day approved of the Kaduna South Federal University. Now, what we must understand is this. There is only one agenda of the Fulani, and that agenda is Fulanization of the whole country by using a religion called Islam. The Muslim religion, the Islam, as prescribed or as described, is total submission to Allah. But again, I ask, is it truly total submission to Allah or total submission to the Fulani's hegemony in the Nigerian context? Because if it was a total submission to Allah that the same Arabia, Riyadh, Medina, Dubai, and co. are practicing, I am not sure today in the whole corner the Hausas are not supposed to have a voice. If you look into the northern politics today, there are only one element, one specific ethnic group whom have taken the seat of power across board. They have taken everything from the most prestige position to even to the lowest of it all. The Fulanis have occupied all the spaces. And let me tell you what they did. In the early 15th century, when Uthman Danfodio came, he brought religion. He met these guys, the Hausas people, who were called the Agalawas. They were merchants who were trading with the Ottoman Empire, right? The Ottoman Empire extends from Turkey downwards. Now, he found out that these guys were Muslims, but they were liberal Muslims. And he was a Sunni. Sunni Muslims are conservative Muslims. They are always the fanatical Muslims who believe that their only way of Islam is the best and nothing else, nothing more. So they decided that conquest journey. Gradually, Uthman Danfodio began to pay attention to the language called Hausa. And along the line, it took him so many years, close to almost 15 to 20 years. When he has finally understood Hausa, he now speaks it fluently. Then he brought the issue of conquest to the Hausa people. That now they need to start expanding with their religion. They need to go into the Kaduna South and all that. Because at then, the Kaduna South was wholly known as a pagan state. Because there was nothing like Kaduna South. And mind you, these were pre-colonial eras. Lord Lugard and Co., the Royal British Company, these guys have not arrived in Nigeria at that time. Are you with me? So then, where the northern states ended, or should I say the Hausa territory ended, was between Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, Kano, towards, it didn't get to Bauchi. Those Bauchi sides are all Kanuris, then you go to Maiduguri. These areas were all El Kanemis, under El Kanemi Empire. Okay, so Usman saw an opportunity because he had an agenda. Now he speaks their language. He has married their daughter. The Hausa kings have also equally married the Fulani beautiful girls. Then he saw and he struck. They started going into wars. And along the line, when they conquer any territory, they install that religion of Islam, of course, of the extremists. They brought it upon them. They started giving them all manners of life that they are supposed to abandon anything they do. What they are expected to do is Almanjiri, and that is what happened. When the Hausa people started noticing this, they told them they were one. They were one because they share the same religion. They told them that the bond of religion is way stronger than the bond of the family. And this was the last silver bullet that broke the Hausas' camel back, because they gave up. They got sold out. They believed that for as long as we share the same religion, our bond is beyond this earth. Our bond extends even into the afterlife. I mean, this was the stories. And this is the same thing they are now selling. You can see they have successfully sold it to the Kwaras, because as of today, the Kwara people are the one, not the Fulanis now. The Kwara Yorubas are the one going around attacking Yoruba conservatives, attacking Yoruba traditionalists. Why? Because they have sold that Islamic ideology. They brainwash them. They tell them when you go for a course, a jihad course, and maybe you perhaps die on the battlefield, then they tell you you have some imaginary 72 virgins. And then I ask myself, how many women do we have in that heaven that they speak of? How would a man be able to service 72 virgins? But when it comes to religion, most people lose their logic, reasoning. They just look their common sense and they just run with it. This doctor who has come out to expose the Fulani's agenda is another wake-up call. They have actually infiltrated the Yoruba land. Just a few days ago, we saw how the Oyo locals, Muslims, most especially along the northern Oyo, which is closer to Ilorin, when you are talking about Igbo, is saying these areas in Oyo State, most of them are majority Muslims. They have been brainwashed. They have told them they are bringing Sharia court down there. And this is how it all starts. They start replacing your own norms and values with their own Sharia, Islamic tenet. They call it the divine rule, something that condemns a man to be crucified if he does something that can be manageable. Something that does not capture the elites of the economy. I have never seen where a Sharia law arrests a corrupt police. I haven't seen how Sharia will prosecute a corrupt political leader in the north. And by the way, the northerners who are hell-bent on Islamizing the Nigerian country as a whole, just for their own political gains and not for an economic development. Let's say, for instance, all the northern states that are practicing Sharia today have milk and honey flowing in their streets. In fact, I will be the first person to adopt the religion. I will be the first person to accept it, right? Because I will see that this has now become a predeterminant or a prerequisite for me to have what we call a working economy. But look at the north. The North are united in poverty, in impoverishment. They are united in what we call one-term illiteracy. One doctor who for me, I think is just an illiterate. If I'm going to dig into his doctorate degree, maybe he's just an honorary doctor. Because you cannot tell me you are in diaspora. This man is in the United States. Look at his tweet. Look, this man is living in the United States. You don't see a United of America shouting that they want to go into what we call a full Christendom nation. No. Yes, America was built on Christianity, but they don't mix religion. They allow everybody to have what we call religious democracy. Have religious tolerance. You can have that religious freedom. Anything you want to do. Let us only be united on our national purpose, which is let us become the most powerful nation in the world. The Northerners who are just Islamic extremists, this doctor has nothing to show off but schools of alimanjiris, multitude of poor children who are carrying plates. We rebuke it. And I know why this man is emboldened, why he has the capacity to say this. First and foremost, is because of the Muslim ticket. And then secondly, because of the recent Imam General of the Abuja Central Mosque, an Igbo man. So he believes that now the Islam has penetrated into the southeast. And of course, if you go to the Afikpo local government, I think in Ebonyi State, down to Enugu, most northern Enugu and then northern Ebonyi, most of these sides, they have large population of Muslims, practicing Muslims, by the way. And most of them are Sunni. I don't know how it got there, but I'm sure it was maybe somehow imported by maybe an Igbo trader who went into the north, who grew up in the north, and by chance he enjoyed the liberty and he started. I mean, it's okay. The problem is you now bringing the notion, you now bringing that concept that what will unite Nigeria is Islam. As Islam united Middle Belt is not today, not the most besieged region in Nigeria. Is it not that same religion, that same Islam, some elements, some non-state actor will come, they call themselves jihad, they wield AK-47, chase people away from their ancestral lands, and afterwards start what? Exploiting their natural resources. Oh, this is what you guys are planning to do. Give us the religion, and at the end of the day, turn us to dummies and zombies. Then you start controlling us. Or you're going to kill for Allah. Go and bomb people. No, it's not going to work. And it's never going to work. If that is your prayer, then may Nigeria not unite. Yes, if you feel that is your own prophecy, that it is only Islam that will unite Nigeria, I think that is a lost cause, a futile journey right from the beginning. Yes, because you know why? Because we still have the greatest adversaries of the Fulanis in this contraption. Maybe when they go, these guys who are the adversaries, maybe if they allow them go, maybe Nigeria might become Islamized. And do you know those people I'm talking about? Talking about the Igbos. As far as we're concerned today, the greatest enemy of the northern agenda in Nigeria are the Igbos. The Igbos have refused to accept the machinations of the Fulanis. The Igbos have reduced to kowtow, to subject themselves. And this is why you always see the Fulani who say that Igbo will never become the president, because if they do, they will cut this country. That if they do, they will divide the nation. They are so scared. They are comfortable working with the Yorubas because you have large chunk of Yoruba Muslims. I am not in any way trying to denigrate. I am a Yoruba man. I am only stating the facts out there. Take a look at the Nigerian political space. ask a normal Igbo man these things, and then go into the deep north, the core north, and ask any northern man this fact that I just spewed out, will you vote an Igbo man as a president? First, they will say that they are keferis, that they are not Muslims. As long as you are not a practicing Muslim, they call you pagan. Christian that has been existing even before Islam came. Islam only saw the mistakes of Christianity and then they corrected. It's more or less like you are copying someone, and because you've seen the mistakes that they've made over a year of 600 years, because they had that space of 600 years. They've seen the mistakes, they've seen the weakness, they now built on it, that they saw that Christianity is liberal, Christianity has what we call religious tolerance and religious freedom. Christianity has that room for you to preserve your traditions. So Islam saw all this, and then they said, no, we have to correct this. This has to be the way, and it has to be a one way. If you speak otherwise, you get annihilated. In Islam, when you say that you want to stop practicing, it is in the book. It is in the book that you what? You get annihilated. So this is the religion that they want to push on the whole Nigeria. This is the agenda they want to push. But they will keep failing for as long as these guys are still in this union. Tomorrow, if they leave, I can bet you they might run over the remaining part of the country. Because today we can argue that the Yorubas might have maybe 50-50 population of Christians, Muslims. Maybe. In Lagos today, we cannot categorically say that we have more Christians than Muslims. We might have more Christian institutions. That means we have more churches because it has been monetized. And that is the problem. Right? But you have a very large chunk of Muslims in the Yoruba land. And that has always been the agenda of the Fulanis. You can see how they were fighting each other in Oyo State. You can see what is happening in Ilorin. And then you want to argue that the Fulanis might not succeed with that agenda if the Igbos go. I think the Igbos have been the greatest blessing while the Yorubas still have their culture in place. For me. Because when these guys are coming closer, the only element that comes out to remind some of the Yoruba conservatives, or that sends a signal, of course, are the Igbos. Because the Yorubas will look at them that, but these guys have not been able to penetrate the Igbos. Why should we allow them? They give them that confidence. I'm only stating this because if these guys were not the symbol of that religious freedom, they were not there, I can tell you categorically that the Fulanis will have run over the whole of Southwest. If they can do to Ilorin, if they are trying to do to Oyo State. The current king of Lagos State is a Muslim. The current king of Iwo in Osun State is dining and whining with the Sultan of Sokoto. He is calling for Sharia to be fully implemented in his old territory. What does that tell you? Have you seen any Igbo king issue such words? He dares not. He won't dare. So that statement that Islam will unite Nigeria would have been possible if perhaps the Igbos were not involved. But lucky we are, that's not going to happen. And to that doctor, your agenda has been exposed and you have failed. If you are just joining, please kindly like, subscribe, and share to the channel. Bye for now.